I'm Jennifer. I'm here at California Citrus State Historic Park, and today I'd like to talk to you about something called mutation. Now, we have nearly 100 different varieties of citrus trees here at the park, and that's actually a very tiny fraction of how many actually exist. Now, we know that people sometimes breed plants together, so you might pollinate a flower from one tree with the pollen from a different tree, right? So that's one way that we can create different varieties of citrus trees. But citrus trees in particular like to mutate. So today we're going to talk about mutations. We're going to talk about what different kinds of mutations you might see. I'm going to give you a few examples of some of the ones that we have here in the park. Now, if you watched our Washington Navel video, you know that the Washington Navel is what put Riverside on the map. And it's not actually from Washington. It started in Bahia, Brazil. Someone was growing a different kind of orange. And on one of the branches, on one of the trees, just one branch on one tree, they noticed that the fruit started to look a little strange. In particular, it looked like it had a belly button. Yes, see? So it looked like it had a belly button. And even though it looked weird, they waited until it was ripe, and they cut it open, and it was delicious, it was sweet, it was easy to peel, and what was really cool was that it didn't have seeds. Or if it had seeds, it might have a couple. Whereas other fruit had a lot of seeds, right? Well, why didn't it have seeds? Why did it look like it had a belly button? It's because it went through a process called mutation. Now, mutation might not be a word that you've heard before, but you've definitely probably heard the word mutant, right? So if you've ever heard of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think they were on Teen Titans not too long ago. Or if you've ever heard the X-Men, right? Those are both different kinds of mutants. So then what is a mutant? A mutant is a living thing that starts out one way and then changes and becomes something totally different. And in particular, that change happens because their genes change. Now, I'm not talking about changing my pants, right? When I talk about genes, I'm talking about things that contain DNA, and they're essentially instruction manuals that tell our bodies how our organs should work, how we should make energy out of the food that we eat, right? Like my body's instruction manual says, make her hair brown, make her kind of short, right? Instruction manuals are really helpful. Every now and then, though, the instruction manual inside a plant or an animal will just change on its own, right? We call that spontaneous mutation. The Washington Navel orange was a spontaneous mutation. It just happened on its own, which is really cool. So you might wonder, well, what is that mutation? What's happening there? It turns out that the Washington Navel is actually trying to grow an additional little fruit. So see at the very bottom, this is where the navel orange, or this is where the navel would be, the belly button, right? What you see there, that little orange piece, that's a second orange that's trying to grow inside of the first orange. So that is why the Washington Navel, that's also why the Washington Navel is seedless. So again, sometimes these mutations, changes in genes, happen just on their own spontaneously. However, humans can also make mutations occur on purpose. So one example of that we have here in the park is called the Rio Red grapefruit. Now you can see that the inside is nice and pink. People think it's pretty. The Rio Red grapefruit actually exists because some folks in Texas were growing a different kind of grapefruit, and they hit it with gamma rays. So they hit it with what's called radiation, right? And if you've seen movies and things that have mutants in them, the scientists will shoot a beam or something at them, and then they change, right? I don't think the fruit went but that's kind of the same process, right? So they hit it with those gamma rays, or what we call radiation, and it changed the fruit and it made the inside that pretty pink color that we know and love. So again, mutations are part of the reason that there are so many different citrus fruit. Citrus fruit have just have a knack for mutating just on their own, but then also scientists over the years have caused mutations themselves on purpose. So thank you today for coming and learning about mutants and genes and fruit with me. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.